The Anomaly DLC for Rimworld is perhaps the most unique and interesting expansion from multiple perspectives. While the community seems divided into a loved or hated relationship with Anomaly, with little middle ground, one thing is certain: this DLC has added significant depth to the lore and world building of the Rimworld universe. But what exactly does the Anomaly DLC bring to the table? As the name suggests, it introduces a new type of in-game threat, which we'll refer to as anomalies. Unlike mechanoids, pirates, insectoids, or rabid animals, anomalies are a far more mysterious and complex kind of enemy. From resurrected shambling corpses to invisible pack-hunting humanoid creatures and even teleporting bodies, it's clear that each anomaly presents a unique challenge. Much like the SCP universe, colonies in Rimworld can capture and contain these anomalies to study them, eventually harnessing their powers through new technologies and rituals. Ironically though, the element of the Anomaly DLC that most expands Rimworld's lore doesn't come directly from the anomalies themselves. I'm talking, of course, about the newest faction introduced in the game, the Horax cult. Now, you might be asking, what is the Horax cult? As the name implies, the Horax cult is the collective of all factions, colonies, or groups across the universe that follow the Servants of Horax, a group of religious, spacer technologically advanced fanatics who worship the god of the void, Horax. The cultists of the Servants of Horax adhere to the same belief system, the Nightmare Deep ideology. The Nightmare Deep is a religious ideology that believes that what most people see as the orderly, mathematical grid of space is merely a glassy surface hiding a vast black ocean of nightmares. Beneath this surface lies a powerful dark mind whose will shapes reality and rewards those who serve it. The cult views this hidden chaotic force as the true nature of the universe, and they dedicate themselves to serving its will. At first glance, this inhuman belief system may seem to suggest that the cult is evil, but the truth is more nuanced. Like the machine god they worship, the inhumanity of the Servants of Horax simply brings them closer to becoming machines themselves. They don't need to kill others, but they won't hesitate to if necessary. They aren't disgusted by the idea of consuming human flesh, but they won't go out of their way to do so either. The unpleasant texture and flavor of nutrient paste doesn't bother them because, in their eyes, food is food, regardless of its form or origin. Slavery and organ harvesting are things the Servants of Horax feel indifferent about. Similarly, running around naked is trivial to them. Shame, emotions, and feelings are seen as distractions from their primary purpose, serving the god of the void. In essence, the Servants of Horax are the embodiment of pure neutrality. They are emotionless drones following the will of a mysterious god, much like mechanoids. Every action they take follows cold mechanical logic, much like a robot that pursues its goals in the most efficient way possible. Although Horaxians can be found on most Rimworlds, they never seem to establish permanent colonies, instead leading nomadic lives in small groups that spread across whatever planet they find themselves on. While most members of the cult are baseliners, it's not uncommon to see dirt moles, genies, Neanderthals, or Hussars among their ranks. The Servants of Horax are divided into two ranks: Under Thralls and High Thralls. High Thralls always wear ceremonial robes and hoods and prefer to use a weapon called the Nerve Spiker. Similar in design to a crossbow, the Nerve Spiker's true power lies in its ammunition. Rough spikes embedded with a paralytic biotoxin, capable of stunning and paralyzing any organic creature. In addition to their weaponry, High Thralls have male blood coursing through their veins, which hardens their skin upon impact, allowing them to withstand powerful blows. However, male blood contains large amounts of bioferrite, a highly flammable material, making High Thralls especially vulnerable to fire-based weapons like flamethrowers or Molotov cocktails. Much like a Sanguiphage, High Thralls also possess the ability of death refusal, which allows them to revive shortly after death. However, this ability comes with limited uses. While it's common to see high trolls with tentacle-like limbs, such mutations are more often found on under thralls, suggesting that high thralls may be less exposed to the anomalous effects that cause these deformities. Under thralls, on the other hand, they are the small fries, usually mere lobotomized servants, yet still fully knowledgeable and capable of performing various rituals. They come under two different categories: grunts and gunners. Grunts are sometimes naked and take the role of cannon fodder. They handle various melee weapons with great efficacy due to their often mutated tentacle arms. Gunners, on the other hand, are slightly more advanced. Wearing robes and ritualistic masks, they prefer a ranged approach, making use of rifles to keep their distance, protecting the high trolls or the grunts, performing a psychic siege, which we are going to talk about now. When attacking colonies, Horaxians prefer indirect methods, often beginning with a psychic siege from afar. If left unchecked, they will summon flesh beasts to assault their enemies, or they may attempt to kidnap colonists using a ritual similar to a skipping psycast, allowing them to teleport victims to their location before fleeing. The fate of those kidnapped remains unclear, but it's likely they are either brainwashed or coerced into joining the cult, perhaps through the application of a bliss lobotomy, a surgical procedure that psychically lobotomizes the victim, leaving them docile and perfect candidates for becoming under thralls. This might explain why many under thralls bear signs of bliss lobotomies, while high thralls do not. Alternatively, it's possible that those abducted by the cult become experimental subjects. They may undergo gruesome torture and surgery, leading to permanent physical and mental trauma. I'm referring to the creep joiners, escapees who return with strange new abilities, often related to the manipulation of flesh. It's also possible that these escapees are infected with metal horrors, which make them dangerous to any colony foolish enough to shelter them. Over time, these experiments may have side effects that manifest later in the form of organ decay or crumbling mind conditions. The Servants of Horax are sometimes hunted by groups seeking to end their practices or by scientific organizations eager to learn more about the Void. These factions may capture cult members for interrogation or study. I hope this brief overview of the Horax cult illustrates why I find them such a unique faction, easily distinguishable from the others, and why I believe they add so much to the world building of Rimworld, especially considering that their influence likely extends beyond Rimworlds to herb worlds and even glitter worlds. I'll leave it to you to draw your own conclusions. With that said, I would appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave your thoughts, suggestions or critiques in the comment section below. As always, I want to give a special thank to Blackroll, Feliday Enjoyer, Juno, Uzaxin, Freaky Crafter, and Exordius Christensen for being official members of the channel. If you'd like to join them, you can do so by hitting the join button down below. Thanks for listening to the very end, and I wish you all a good night.